Hello, welcome to the Other Matter for this week. I'm Art Harun here. The topic of this week is money laundering. Some of you might have read recently a report saying that about 1,000 people are being investigated. The police are looking at their accounts, trying to freeze the account. And some of you might wonder, how come there's so many people are allegedly involved in this one MDB scandal? The answer lies in the nature and constituents of the offence that we know as money laundering. So we will discuss what is money laundering this week. Now, money laundering is actually a creature under the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001. Yeah. Basically, money laundering is an offence under this act. Generally, the offence entails anybody who engages directly or indirectly in a transaction that involves proceed of an unlawful activity. And anybody who acquires, receives, possesses, disguises, transfers, converts, exchanges, carries, disposes of, or uses proceeds of an unlawful activity. Those people will be guilty of money laundering. The punishment for money laundering for every money laundering offence is an imprisonment for a term not exceeding 15 years for each offence. And they shall also be liable to a fine of not less than 5 times the sum that is being laundered, or 5 million, whichever is higher. Yeah. So that's the punishment. Apart from that punishment, under this act, the assets in question may also be seized and forfeited by the state. And as and when these assets are forfeited, the assets or properties will become the assets of the government, of the state. Yeah. Now, in criminal matter, normally there will not be any pecuniary order, meaning you will not be ordered to pay money other than the fine. Yeah. So let's say Ali is accused of a murder. If he is found guilty, he will not be ordered to pay compensation to the family of the murdered person. But in money laundering, apart from the imprisonment sentences, apart from the fine, and apart from the assets being seized, the accused can also be ordered to pay a sum of money representing the value of the benefit that the accused had derived from the illegal activity. So that's the difference between money laundering and other criminal offences. Let's apply this principle to a certain hypothetical facts. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you have an account in the bank, and suddenly one day your good friend tell you, hey, can I use your account to deposit 5 million ringgit? You then say it is okay. Alright, you can deposit 5 million ringgit into my account, without you checking where that source of fund coming from. Yeah. And that 5 million was then transferred into your account, and you did not report this to the authority, although you know this friend of yours only earned 500,000 a year. Yeah, you will be guilty of money laundering. Once you receive that 5 million in your account, you are guilty of money laundering. Not only that, once you distribute that sum or use that sum to buy things, to buy diamonds, to buy handbags, or distribute that sum. Let's say your friend say, okay, from this 5 million, please pay 1 million to Azhar. Then you pay. Once you do that, for each time you do that, that's a money laundering offense. That's 15 years in prison, or 5 million fine, or 5 times the amount involved, whichever is the higher. So for those of you who are wife to a certain people, to your husband, or girlfriend to your boyfriend, and you know your boyfriend or your husband only earn 500,000 a year, suddenly he or she, your husband or boyfriend comes to you and give you diamonds worth 3 million, and you just take it. Beware, you may be guilty of money laundering if you don't inquire the source of fund. Another thing that we need to know about money laundering is what we call reporting obligations. Reporting obligations. Reporting obligation basically is an obligation imposed on certain parties to report to the authorities when they come into knowledge that a certain person has funds which are doubtful in nature. Okay, so those who need to report are called in this act reporting institution. But essentially, reporting institution are banking and financial institution, fund managers, trust fund managers, and including lawyers. So basically, when this reporting institution, let's say it's me, I'm a lawyer, so let's say it's me, I have a new client. New client. I open up a file, suddenly this new client bank in 15 million to my account. Now I need to report this transaction if I have reasonable cause to believe that the source of account come from an illegal activity. If some officer, senior officer or whatever of a bank has suddenly come into knowledge that Mr. X opens an account, suddenly put in 50 million US dollars into the account, they have a duty to report this to the authorities if it rings a bell. If they know that Mr. X is only a public servant, let's say, and he suddenly deposit 5 million USD, it rings a bell. As a banker, you should know, then you should report. Now, how do you cover yourself? You may ask me, how do you cover yourself? Simple. You are supposed to run what the Act called a customer due diligence. Basically, what you need to do is to ask the customer, who is he? What business does he do? Where does he get his money from? That is specified under the rules. So if you do that, at least you are being diligent. You may be covered. There is a possible defense available to you if you are charged for money laundering. But if you don't exercise that diligence, it is not a defense for you to say, I don't know. How will I know? I don't know. But the fact remains that the duty is on you as a reporting institution to try to find out where the source of money comes from. It's not a defense for you to say, sorry, I didn't know. No, that's not a defense. You will be caught under Money Laundering Act and you will be sentenced accordingly. And that is why, if the report is true, 1,000 people are being allegedly being investigated in respect of 1MDB. Because each time the illicit gains from the 1MDB scandal is being spent and distributed, that constitute one offense. And if this money is distributed to 1,000 people, then 1,000 people are involved. And these 1,000 people need to show and need to come to court or to go to the authority and show that they have exercised due diligence before receiving the money or spending the money. So that is about it today about money laundering. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks.